Hello, Diargos here. Welcome back to my Factorio series, The Manhattan Project. So it's been about 4 days since my last video, and that's because I started a new job 4 days ago. So I've been having to travel a bit to get to work and spend a lot of time in the car each day. But that's just the first few days, and I think now I should be back to my regular schedule and should be able to put out a few videos every day, more or less. But I wasn't completely idle over those 4 days. In fact, my game has been running the entire time since Sunday night, and it's now Thursday night. Except for an update that I just did. I just had to restart it now. What I've been doing is, right after my last episode, I felt like I was ready to start doing the rocket parts. I've got pretty much everything I need, except the problem was, the thing that I didn't have was space. Right, so here's where I want to do a lot of the oil processing. I want to expand that out, of course. I am already having a problem because I need more red circuits, and kind of run into an issue where I might not have enough room down here, so I've got to think about that. I might be moving them up north, but I'm going to need a lot of room for rockets, because I want to eventually get it down to, one rocket per minute, and then maybe see if we can scale the whole thing up again even more. And that's quite a challenge. So the problem was there was just ore patches everywhere, right? That's what I mean by I didn't have enough space. And so I have been removing the ore from my base, and it's nearly done. There's some small pockets here and there that I just haven't gotten around to. But the way that I did it was I created this massive ore bank of storage bins, and you can see it's mostly filled up. There's a few that I think will be filled up once this is all said and done, because the way that it works is, let me see if I can find, they're mostly depleted, but I have been checking on the game regularly when I can, like here and there for a few minutes, and tearing up the miners and speed modules and beacons and reusing them. So let's see if I can actually find a good example here. Here we go. So this one's recently done, and you can see that the top was finished a while ago. So I keep coming and removing like these chests. I'll come and remove anything that's not running to save a little bit of power and to save a little bit of and to just recycle the parts, right? But over here, I don't think any of them are running, but there's still a lot of chests full, and there are these all over the place that I haven't picked up yet because they're still full of chests. So I see I would come out here and I need to gut these. This has all been emptied, and I've got about 43,000 right now logistics bots on this side, but up top you can see there's quite a swarm, and I've put down tons and tons of roboports everywhere to kind of help. Some of these, like, you'll be like, why is there a bunch of roboports there? It's because there used to be a bunch of patches right next to it, but I've since cleared up most of the top ones. I didn't quite work top to bottom, but I mostly did. Anyway, the way that this works is there is this line of roboports here. You can see that's the cutoff point, and they end right on top of these requester chests. And the requester chests, let me actually run up there. I think that would help. Follow the stream. And I need to go on the other side. Oh, that's fine. I'll come on the side. The requester chests, they all are a single line of them, and I have a couple of blueprints. You can see, like, that's just another bank of chests that I want to put down. That's like the front. So you can see at the bottom there of that design, there's requesters, and here it's just more storage basically. But they all request just fill me up with any type of these 5 ore types. Those are the ones I was working on, right? The only ones that are there. But every front, which is this one right here, you can see it's 4 rows of chests, but one of them is kind of short because I didn't plan it out as well. Each one of those in the middle section has one chest that requests just one type. That way I could be sure to have at least one chest that was pushing in an ore type, like guaranteed, just in case there was some kind of flow rate. But that hasn't seemed to be an issue at all. And then on the other side, you've got inserters, right, moving them from the requesters into these active provider chests, which just clear them out. And so the bots come, grab them out of these, and then put them into chests. And it's so cool. I didn't actually know this, but they will prefer, I haven't seen any situation yet, because I have never run out of chests yet, where they will put more than one type of ore in a chest. They like designate it by themselves to do that. Now they mix and match like their neighbors, right? Based on, I don't know what the logic is, but and they do work from like closest to top. The reason why this isn't filled in is because I added this whole section here, and that was the last one that I added. I started like here in the middle somewhere and went right, left, and that's the last one that I've added. And then I was also going up as well, but I added that one last, and I also added a row up here, so they're kind of even now. So you can see it's mostly filled in, not quite. But if we look and see, let's get a blueprint here. Zoom in a bit. I can get an exact number with by counting the sections, and I just know how many I have in each section. But if we look, that's 39,000, probably a little bit more than that, storage chests, right? And if each storage chest can hold 2,400, right? Because there's 48 possible stacks, but they're stacks of 50, so cut it in half. So there's 2,400 times 39. Go back. Times 39,000. 93.6 million stacks, or not stacks, but that's how many ore, single pieces of ore that I can store in here, all across the iron, copper, stone, coal, and uranium. So this is my ore bank now. So basically, I just moved as much of the ore as I could. There's some little scraps left, barely hanging on. Oh, he doesn't have. There's a problem right there. He doesn't have speed modules in them. Some of them I just did speed modules as they were smaller, and some of them I did beacons as well, and the beacons seem to make it go even faster if you just had to manage it more. Let's see, where was that guy? Right here. Let's help him out a bit. Okay, I'm going to pick up the rest of this later. But the reason I didn't record any of this is because, one, I was experimenting. You can see I have this leftover patch. I started up here and I did actually belt. And I belted all this coal and uranium that was there, and I had multiple belts. I've picked up most of it since then. And I brought it out to this. This has actually been cleaned up. I had a bank of this all the way out to like right here somewhere. And after I switched over to using the ore bank like this, the logistics box, this didn't fill up as fast, relatively, and they were taking it out of this as well, of course. So I cut it down, trimmed it out to recycle the parts, and I just let it finish out for the most part, and I replaced some of it with provider chests at the end, and it worked pretty well. It took forever. I mean, it literally was on night and day, round the clock, and I would just kind of keep pruning and checking on things, and yeah, my copper and iron production is through the roof. I've got way more than I was consuming, of course. So that's a little update for you. And now I can start designing, and I'll probably clear most of the stuff out in between episodes and put like rocket stuff over here somewhere on this side of oil. Gotta wait for that to finish though. But once that's all done, we'll have a nice big space. So onto rocket stuff, right? Now, I did some calculations, but I did calculations 4 days ago, and I don't know if I wrote it down or not, but we'll probably talk about that in the next episode. But to give you a general idea, here's what we're thinking. So our overall goal is to get in the area of 1 rocket per minute, right? But it would be nice to just have some science in the meantime, because I think that would help if we can get some worker robot speed and some mining productivity, which I could have been using since 4 days ago. But I don't know. Is that... Yeah, actually, I don't want that. So I'm glad I didn't have this. In fact, I was thinking about, I saw that it was producing extra ore, which means it was just slowing down the weight. If the whole goal is to remove it from, from the patch, you don't want that productivity. So yeah, the robot speed though definitely would have helped. So I think I might just set up a simple one quick, just to get some science going again, but and then do the whole big rocket area, the Cape Canaveral, But here's the idea, basically. We need to get all these parts right here: rocket control unit, rocket fuel, and low density structure. And a rocket requires 100 rocket parts, and these 3 things make up a rocket part. But you have to have 10 of them each for 1 rocket part. So you have to have 1,000 of them to get... Is that right? 100 times 10, yeah, 1,000 of them to get to a rocket. And they take 30 seconds each. So even with speed modules in one of our sped up, I don't think I have it out right now, but one of these things, it's still like 3 seconds or 2 seconds or something like that. I did the math. So we need to do 1 rocket per minute, I think I need something like 48 of these, each. 48 rocket control units like this in one of these setups, just to get it with speed modules. I think actually productivity modules are better. I did the math on that as well. So productivity modules in the assemblers and in the rocket silo itself with 20 beacons around it, I think is the max, with speed modules and the beacons, and you can start getting close to 1 rocket per minute. Now you can break 1 rocket per minute if you just have more rocket silos and more of these. So we would have to scale that up. And if we wanted to do 1 rocket per second, we would build out the 1 rocket per minute build, right? And then, make 60 of them, or whatever logic, is close to that. And of course you also have to have the satellite parts, which isn't too bad. Needs rocket fuel also, and then the processing units. So if you can imagine, if I wanted to do 1 rocket per second and actually get something out of it, right, the satellite, that kind of 100 solar panels, that's a lot. The satellite, I think, would be probably more costly than any of this other stuff. So, I think it's kind of clear that it would be. So I don't know, if that's really feasible or not, but we can kind of just see where it starts to get crazy, and we'll probably end the series around that point. Once it just gets to be okay, I would have to do this for 10 years before I could finally get it going. I don't know if anyone else has tried that approach or not. I know that 1 rocket per minute is, I wouldn't say it's common, but it's been done numbers of time in different ways. So okay, well, that being said, I think I want to just get science going again, right? And we're gonna have to rebuild all of our science stuff, but we do have automation here. But I think we'll do a science a little separately, a little differently, and we can do it. Let's do it have that stuff for rocket parts and have science up here. Where is it gonna be? Yeah, it's gonna be under this line, or even with automation, right? So kind of in this area here, because we're gonna put more smelting above and across, so we can't really put it there. Okay, one last guy. Well, we can kind of still start with the designs. We'll do it right here. Okay, so obviously all this other science is still needed, so we need all of these things feeding into it, and we'll have to make extras because I don't think the automation will keep up. I don't think so, especially if we want enough science per minute to actually research something. I don't know what the goal would be exactly yet. We can figure that out. But I don't care about that stuff right now. What I care about is getting the white science first, figuring that out, which means just getting these things going here. So let's dig up our... Here we go. That was quick to find. Let's see. I know I'm going to make it even with this line, so I just want to find... I think that's right. Okay. And we'll start right here. So here's 3 parts already, right? And we can start with the actual low density structure. Now I'm going to copy and paste the requirements here. So we'll see if that's enough. I think that might be a little low. We might want to bump that up, but we'll see. Then the rocket fuel, which we do have lots of fuel, but I don't know if my rate is very, because I haven't been using it, I've just been making it. And a couple of times I've had to go in and, I don't know if I showed this actually. So I know I showed this part where, is that running? I don't think this is actually running. What's backed up? Lubricant? No. I don't know what's the problem here. Looks like heavy oil. It ran out of heavy oil? That's funny. Okay. I guess it wasn't cycling back. I have to go reset it. I haven't had to do that yet. The problem has been that I keep having to add these more storage for the solid fuel because it's filling up. So you can see that these are filled here. I guess this last one not quite filled yet. I also added down here some more, but it's all filled up now. So hopefully this rate, this is just where all of them, except for heavy oil, is getting cracked to light oil, because that's actually a little bit better. But light oil and petroleum gas, you can see I've got petroleum here and then more light oil because it was backing up on me. But it looks like it's all filled up. No, it's not. Oh, it looks like petroleum gas is all filled up, and that's because this is filled up here. Okay, these are filled up. So we'll have to work that out a little bit more. Figure that out better. But now we do have some solid fuel though to start feeding into that. And then the rocket control unit. We do have plenty of processing units. That shouldn't be an issue. Okay, so how's this going? Okay, so you can see it's 30 seconds, but it's still not like pew, 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 pew. It's going, it's taking a few seconds. I think it's like 2 to 3. If I did my math right. 3 seconds, I guess. Yeah, it's 3 because it's 30 divided by 10. Because this is a, it's got a crafting speed of 10, right? But I think, let's go grab. I think that it's better to do production modules instead of speed modules. Even though it's slower, that number still comes out. Let's grab another stack. Because you're multiplying by like 1.4, I think is the case. If I do all 4, let's look. Yeah, so productivity is 40%. So you're multiplying by 1.4, and the crafting speed is 6.75. So let's do the math right now. Let me get my calculator out. Okay, so 30 divided by, oh shoot, what did I say it was? 6.75. Okay. That's 4.4. That's the number of seconds, I think, yeah. Because it was 3 if it's 30 divided by 10, which is the other crafting speed is 10. So 4.4 is obviously slower, right? But now, and I think I'm doing this backwards because instead of multiplying, I want to divide. So instead of doing, this should have been 10 divided by 30 to get this. They're both accurate. They just tell you different things. So divide by 1.4. Oh, that is it's not quite as good. I think that's 3.17 instead of 3. But it costs less materials, so that's good. I hope I did that math right. I might want to check that math. Because it's 10 divided by 30. Wow. I'll check the math again. I did it. I spent like an hour or 2 hours the other day, like actually doing this on paper, and figured it all out. So I'm gonna stick with productivity modules still until I convince myself otherwise. 6.75. Okay. Maybe the problem is I don't have enough beacons to really justify it. Like if I added a third beacon here, I think that might be better. Yeah. I think that's exactly what the problem is, because I'm using this old design instead of a better one. Can't do 3 up here though. Is there any way I can do 3? I don't think so. Because it bumps into each other, and if I move this one out, it's not gonna overlap. Maybe if I move around some of the inside, but I don't think so. So we'll do 2 up here. Now let's get that new number now and just see what it's at. Okay. I bet this is better. 7.375. Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna do the calculation again on the fly. Okay, so I said it was 30 seconds, right? And then that's 7.375 divided by 7.375, and then divided by also, that's 4.06. That's already better. 1.4, 2.9. Okay, so it's 2.90. That means it is better to use productivity modules as long as you have at least this many beacons. So I'd have to pick these up as well. Okay, and maybe figure out if there's a way I can add 1 more beacon so I get a solid bit. I always just do 2, and I mean, I don't really try to get it as fast as possible. And in this series I am, so it's kind of a new pattern for me. I've never tried to max out. Alright. So what's going on? Oh, first of all, no wonder it stopped running. Secondly, yeah, we need regular speed modules, of course. Let's clear this. There we go. I'm just, they're limited to 1 stack right now. And keep in mind that these are only 10 per stack. Right. Okay, so let's copy. I don't want to copy that. I'll fix this and make a new blueprint. Let's put this guy right here. Let's flip him like that. And then he can get 3 on this side, I guess. And yeah, I want to take a new blueprint, don't I? Do I have to wait for the modules to show up now? Is that different? No, it's not. Okay, good. And give you better. There you go. All right, just in case I want to do more of those. And this guy needs just regular old speed modules, level 1. Okay, so now I've got. Now I should be making all the rocket parts that I'm going to need, and I can build myself a rocket silo, which, where would that be? Here? Military? Yeah, military. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to go grab the parts for that and just build that manually, and then in the next episode, we will continue with setting up just one quick science, and the science is going to be based on the fact that we're going to use what we have right here, and any other parts that we need to make for the rocket, like for the satellite, just to get one rocket launching ever so often, because it's going to give us 1,000 of the white science, and then of course we need to make. And hurry up. 36 left. It's taking forever. And then of course we need to make all of the other science as well, just to get these infinite science technologies researched. So thanks for watching, and I will see you very soon.